She got a hickey in her back pocket, Wrangler jeans, and a crop top tee that says buy local beef. Steal your heart like a bandit and leave. She's gonna shoot to kill and aim to please.
Welcome back to another episode of Barstools and Billboards podcast. With me here is Tanner Laws. Tanner, you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, my name's Tanner Laws. I'm a country singer-songwriter from Montana.
Awesome. Tanner, we're going to take it back to where it all started with you. I'm guessing you just got right out of college, was an engineer, decided that wasn't the way you wanted to go. So, how did that play out for you?
It kind of started a little bit before that. I learned a couple songs in high school for our high school talent show, and I performed them, but it was just, for fun. Didn't ever think I was a good singer or anything really. Then I graduated high school and went to college for basketball, and so all my focus was on sports in school because I went to a pretty tough engineering school. And then once I quit the basketball team my freshman year, I had a bunch of free time because I didn't have practice or lifting or film or anything. And I had a guitar sitting in the corner of my room that my grandpa bought me, and a bunch of free time and no roommate to annoy. So I just started, I was like, I always wanted to learn to play and sing at the same time really. So I just started YouTubing how to play songs with my favorite artists at the time. Tyler Childers was a big one right then.
Yeah.
And then Luke Combs was like early on, only a couple albums out, and I was looking up their songs and I was like, these aren't too hard to play, they're pretty easy chords. And I was like, if they can write these good of songs with these simple chords, I was like, why can't I do it? So I started writing in college and played them for my buddies just in the dorms and stuff, and they thought they were pretty good. And then I got a small sound system from my parents as like a birthday gift, and started playing in the bars in my college town for free drinks and tips, and then just kind of snowballed, kept playing more, writing more, and learning more songs, and I just really enjoyed it. And then when I graduated from college, I moved to Missoula for an engineering job. I was doing that Monday through Friday, but I was still doing gigs on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, driving all over, and was kind of just getting worn out doing both of them, and I wasn't giving 100% of myself to either one. And so I kind of just took the leap and quit the engineering job and decided to learn how to record songs and get them on Spotify, and just learn how to be an independent musician, because I didn't know how to do it, but I knew I was passionate about it, and enough people told me they liked my songs that I thought I'd give it a shot.
Right. So is that whenever you wrote the song, like hearing you?
Yeah. So I was in the dorms still, and those were the first 3 chords I learned were G, C, and D, and I was just kind of running through them, really easy chord progression, and I was like, I'm gonna write a song about a typical weekend in Butte, America, just for me and my buddies, because it was fun. But pretty sweet that a lot of people in other states and countries really like that song.
Right.
Yeah.
So you went from, writing your songs in a college dorm to playing them in a dive bar, and then that transformed into opening shows for some bigger artists, or how did that come about?
So I was doing solo gigs, pretty much small bars and breweries for a long time. And then there was a bar in Missoula that we play at a lot. It's like a swing dance bar. And I wasn't playing there at the time. I just went there to dance and play pool. Mm-hmm. And I was playing pool with my buddies, and one of them was like, hey, this is my buddy Lane. He works at a live music venue. Like, he does the booking there, and it's like a live music venue. So they have bands there every weekend. He's like, you guys should get in touch. And so I got in touch with him, and after a few months of talking, he offered me an opportunity to open up as a solo act for Mitchell Tenpenny was my first one. And then they called me, his team, and was like, hey, we need an opener for the next day in Bozeman too. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so those kind of opened up a bigger fan base for me, got me in front of bigger crowds instead of 30, 40 people at a bar,
Right.
And so that kind of got my name out there for sure. And then I did stuff like that kind of for like 2-3 years, playing solo, opening up for people. And then I just kind of grinded on the songwriting, because my first 2 albums I recorded, I didn't have a band yet. And then I finally met my band members like a year or 2 after I quit my engineering job, and it opened up a lot of doors for us to get to play in front of bigger crowds and bigger stages, having that full band.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, was that around the same time that you wrote I Love Drunken With You?
That
What did that
was,
one about?
I wrote that right before I met the band. So the recordings on my albums that do have a full band sound on them, they're not my band members, they're session musicians that I just hired out to record over top of me and my guitar. But yeah, that was right before I met the full band.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to the opening, the shows and stuff, let's see, I know you did Clint Black. Who's some of the others that you've done?
Rodney Atkins, Gary Allen, Dustin Lynch, Adriana, Sam Barber, I guess I said her already, Mitchell Tenpenny, Braxton Keith is one we've opened up a few times for, and Colby Acuff. Those are two younger guys that have been real good to me and offered me a few different opportunities to open up for them when they've been up in Montana and Canada.
Right. So how was that opening up for Clint Black? Some of those.
It was awesome. I actually opened for him once solo in Great Falls at that first venue that gave me an opportunity. I think it was a year after I'd been playing there, but I got opened up for him solo, and then 2 years later, which was this last summer, we opened for him in Dillon after their big rodeo. They always have a big concert, and that was awesome. We had a busy weekend because that's Labor Day weekend. We played in Washington the night before. I got like heat exhaustion and threw up and was feeling awful, and then we had to drive like 8 hours the next day to Dillon. I felt fine the next day. I think I had a bunch of adrenaline because it's Clint Black, he's a legend. And I got there early, and he was just standing up on stage in street clothes, and I was like, oh, I gotta go get some advice from this guy. So I just talked to him one-on-one for like 30 minutes and got some advice about life, about being a musician, a father, and I took all of it to heart, and it was all good advice.
I got you. We'll come back to the advice in a minute.
Okay.
That'll go along with one of my questions I have.
Okay.
So whenever you were opening up for him, you're going from these small little venue shows, and now you're opening from people that's paid to see Clint Black play.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, how did that feel inside, knowing that you have all these big fan press?
Well, that was huge. That was, and that's one of the best things that I ever did was getting the opening slots for bigger people. Because, like you said, a lot of people pay tickets to come see this more well-known artist, and then sometimes they'll hear the opening act and be like, "Oh, I like this person," and look them up. So that helped a lot, especially doing it in Montana, my home state. So that was huge, and we still do it now. We'll open up for anyone that's big that asks for us. It's a great exposure opportunity.
Right. So you see a lot of love around Montana whenever you're doing shows back at home?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about the Riders Rain song that you just come out with.
Okay.
How did that one come about?
I was on a big writing block stint for like almost a full year because I started diving more into treating being a musician as like a business. And so since I'm independent, don't got a record label or management or agent or anything, I got to do all our own booking. I got to set up podcast interviews, radio interviews, got to set up lodging where we're staying, route so we don't drive too far between gigs, social media stuff. There's just a lot, and it gets in the way of songwriting sometimes. So I was kind of in a writing block, and I drew a really nice archery elk hunting tag up in the Missouri River Breaks, and me and my brother went up there, and there's no cell service. It's in the most beautiful, like untouched wilderness up there, right next to the CMR wilderness, and that just kind of sparked some inspiration. I wrote like 3 or 4 new songs while we were out there hunting and camping, and Riders Rain was one of my favorites. I was like, this one's catchy. I was like, it reminds me of some of the old school country music, like a Merle Haggard thing or a Brad Paisley thing, early Brad Paisley, and it just kind of flowed and came out quick and easy. And those are some of my favorite ones. Are done like pretty quick.
You think that you know me? One look at my blue jeans, dirty old hat, and boots. You're making assumptions based off of nothing. How would you like if I did that to you? He probably drives a truck. He probably loves to hunt. And I'm willing to bet that he drinks too much. He'd rather be fishing, loves whiskey and women. If that's what you're thinking, let me tell you what. You hit the nail right on the head. You knocked it out of the park. I'm just a good old small town country boy. I reckon I've been from the start. I could tie a line before my shoes. My parents raised me right. I protect those I love, only fear God above. I will not start, but I'll finish a fight. You're as right as rain, it's as plain as day. I'm a country boy, alright.
Would you say Merle Haggard's kind of like an inspiration to your writing style? Or?
He is, especially recently. Before, I would say my biggest inspirations, like early on, were Tyler Childers, George Strait, Alan Jackson, and then recently it's been Turnpike Troubadours, Merle Haggard, and probably Chris Ledoux.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's he was very talented.
He was, and so underrated for
Very.
so underrated.
Well, I mean, if we didn't have Chris Ledoux, we would never have Garth Brooks.
Yeah, yep, I heard that story.
Yeah, Chris is one that found Garth Brooks.
And Much Too Young was huge for Garth. Yeah.
Yeah, you played that one tonight. I like that. When
Yeah.
You played that. I know it's harder not to Garth Brooks song.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing you also wrote this song that I'm about to bring up on that same hunting trip in some way.
Mhm.
So you wrote that on that same hunting trip? Or?
That one, a few of my songs are kind of ones where I start, and then I only get halfway through, and I get stuck, and I don't come back to them for a while. So that one I started writing, like, actually, I think it was around the same time. It was probably around that time I was hunting up there, and then got stuck, came back to it like a half year later, and finished it. But yeah, I actually think I did start writing that one around that time.
I've been searching for a reason why I can't shake this feeling. I've tried moving on, it feels so wrong. There's only one woman I want in my arms. Most days I wish I never met you, but my heart just won't let me forget you. It ain't no use, you're still my muse. Every love song I write in some way is for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, then we're going to talk a little bit about your tours.
Okay.
So you're on a tour right now,
Yep.
right? So are you just going to be touring over the southeast over the next couple of weeks, or how's that looking for you?
Just Georgia for the week. The thing about touring out for me is my guitar player's got a full-time job, my bass player is a full-time student at UM, my drummer is a professor at UM, so they all got stuff they still got to do, but they're on spring break right now, and they're just kind of able to make this work, so we're trying to pack as many as we could in 1 week, and we got Monday through Saturday we got gigs, besides Wednesday we got off. So yeah, the rest of the shows are going to be in Decatur, Athens, and Savannah.
Okay. Which is all in Georgia.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Which is just how it worked out. I reached out to North and South Carolina, Tennessee, just to try to get wherever I could in the South, and it just happened to be the places that got back to me, and were able to make it work for Georgia places.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your goals that you're looking forward to? What do you have lined out in front of you to be looking forward to?
I wrote a goal sheet not too long ago. I haven't looked at it in a while, but one of the first ones on it was to play it Under the Big Sky, which is the biggest music festival in Montana.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, they emailed me and wanted to book us, so that was awesome getting to check the
That's
first
one
thing
of
off.
what your headline for coming up, right?
It's a festival, so we're not headlining. We're bottom of the barrel because the headliners are Zach
Your
Top.
name's on the pictures.
That's the cool part. Is our names on the poster with guys like Chris Stapleton, Zach Top, Cody Jinks, which is just cool to see that on the same poster.
Right.
And it's going to be great for us because it's going to be in Montana. So there will be a lot of my already fan base there, and lots of people coming from out of state to come see those big guys that we could possibly gain new followers and new fans too.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that one was the biggest goal, and we got it. We have other goals set for next year, like to play in, I think it was 9 or 10 different states. We hit 8 different states this year, so I think we can do it. And then it was small goals, like our biggest audience last year was 6,000, and then our goal is next year to play for a crowd of 7,000 plus, which we will at Under the Big Sky probably. And then I think it was to have a bunch of different lengths of set lists, like already set of different times, because we have some gigs where we have 30 minutes to play, some are 45, some are an hour, some are 3-4 hours, and so we just want to get really good at that. And then another goal of mine would be we had a lot of them last year. The two opened up for Gary Allen and Clint Black were at the Miles City Buck and Horse Sale and the Dillon Labor Day Rodeo, and those were two of the bigger events in Montana too. So those are awesome. But we'll have plenty of more goals next year too.
So what are we looking forward to for like your next single drop or your next EP or next album? What are you working on right now?
Next single should hopefully be out in the next month or two. It's going to be called Call a Spade a Spade. It's a kind of a Chris Stapleton vibes. The reference song I gave for the musicians was Tennessee Whiskey, so if you can imagine that kind of pace, that's kind of what it's about. And I'm really excited for that one. I think it's a very strong song lyrically. I wrote that one a long time ago in college and just finally got around to recording it. But the whole album I'm just so psyched for because it's recorded in Nashville with some of the best artists, some of the best producers there. They understand the sound I want, which is that 90s and earlier country sound, pedal steel guitar, fiddle, maybe some banjo or dobro in there, but really focused on strong lyrics and storytelling.
Right. So you see yourself more, kind of like doing the backtrack thing back towards like the early 90s or?
Yeah, just because I think I relate to that kind of storytelling and that authenticity, and just I'm not personally a fan of the pop country movement that's been happening.
Right.
I really like that pedal steel guitar and fiddle, and
Yeah.
I like to make people want to two-step or swing dance and waltz, so that's kind of more what I'm after.
I got you. Is that just like the Montana thing in you, or is that?
I mean, I guess I
personal?
love dancing. I love seeing people dance, and I just love moving people. It's one of my favorite things about music is you could not know an artist personally, you could never hear their song before, and then if you hear a song and you like really listen to the lyrics and it's a really good story, it can bring someone to tears. And you don't know the person, the story that they're telling is not about you or anyone you know, but it can move you. I mean, for me, I listened to Elephant by Jason Isbell by myself in my room with my headphones on. I just discovered him, and I was just moved to tears, and I was like, that's so cool. Someone I don't know that I just discovered could make me cry. Like, that's such a weird thing music can do.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's something special about that.
Right. So going back to your show time and stuff like that, what is one of the most memorable moments that you have from being on stage? It could be the Clint Black, it could be any of them.
I would have to say it was that first weekend when I opened for Mitchell Tenpenny 2 nights in a row. I opened for him in Bozeman, and I played Hallelujah, which was the first song I ever sang in front of a crowd, and the whole crowd singing back to me and like doing the lights on their phones. That was really, really cool, and that felt awesome. And one of my main reasons that I want to keep pursuing music is to keep giving myself a bigger platform so that people can hear me and I can talk about giving glory to God and just the story of his son Jesus and the sacrifice he made. So that's the main goal here.
Right. So do you plan on staying independent as long as you can, or are you looking forward to like a record eventually? Or?
I would welcome opportunities for sure. The nice thing about being independent right now is obviously I have all the control, and then I have all the royalties and percentages of everything. But there are so many opportunities that a record label or a booking agent or a manager can bring to you, which is the main reason you would hire them or get on a team. They can get you into more of those big festivals, into more of those big concerts. They can get you to open up for a bigger artist instead of just one night. You can go on a little week-long tour with them, you know.
Right.
So I would definitely welcome the opportunity for sure. But so far being independent's it's also been good. We have a great fan base, great supporters, and people really take care of us, and I'm always humbled by the kind hearts of people.
So, going way back to whenever, the video I seen of you first, what drew me to you was a song called Bread and Water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how did that come about?
That's a funny story. I wrote that one a while ago about a girl that I had a crush on, and I had a crush on her for a while, and it was kind of like I liked her, she didn't like me thing.
Yeah.
And shot my shot, didn't happen, but it was one of those things where you just kind of held out hope, and it just started to like eat at me. So I was like, why am I holding out hope? Like this isn't gonna happen. So I wrote the song, and didn't like playing it, just because it made me think of her. And then my friends, I played around the fire because they really liked it, and they're like, dude, you gotta record that one, you gotta record that one. And I just decided, I was like, yeah, that one hurts, but that's kind of what music is just like emotion. Sometimes it's more of a therapeutic thing to write songs like that, just to like get it out. And the other thing that I love about it is it's, even though you just think about like yourself and the thing that happened to you, there's people that can find something in that to relate to. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the main reasons I record is it's relatable for people. I think it's got a good story to it, and I'm a sucker for sad country songs, especially ones that are sad but kind of sound happy too. You gotta listen a little bit more. All right, this song is called Bread and Water, and I wrote this a couple years ago when I asked a girl out that I had a crush on for a bunch of years, and she turned me down in a very easy way, nice way, but for some reason I still had those strong feelings for her. That's kind of what this song's about. It's about that girl, and bread and water comes from when you're thinking all you need in your life is that one person and it'll be all better. So that's all you want to need is that one person. So here we go, bread and water. Mid-July, another honky-tonk bar. Pretty vocal bunnies and Daisy Dukes. I sneak away and smoke a cheap cigar. I'm still strung out over you. Staring out upon the open plains, my longest drought in 24 years. The dead brown grass is yearning for the rain. I sympathize and shed a tear. Why did I tell you how I felt? Now I'm starving and living in hell. Oh, the things you do to me, you're all I want and all I need. You're my bread and water. The scar you left is fading slow. It don't make sense, yet I know that I still want you.
Right. So, out of all the songs that you wrote and you've recorded, which one would you have to pick to be your favorite so far?
I'll give you two answers. I'll say Aim to Please is my favorite I've recorded, just because I love the upbeat swing dance, fiddle, electric guitar. It's just a fun song. That's my favorite one I've recorded. I think the favorite one I've written would be The Next Ridge, which is one of my songs about elk hunting. just because it's got a unique chord progression, kind of close to a Marty Robbins. And it just tells a really good story that's really relatable for hunters. People tell me all the time, they're like, man, I can just see that whole thing in my head, and that story has happened to us so many times.
So, I'm glad you brought up Aim Police, because I was about to bring it up too. What's the story on that one?
That one has a less exciting story. It was more, I was at Sanders County Fair in Plains, where I grew up. We grew up going to that fair. I grew up in Thompson Falls. But I was just like, man, I want to start writing more fast, upbeat, like swing dancing songs, because I didn't have a lot like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just playing around with some chords that I knew and liked, and started off with, it's not, the recorded version is not the way I first started. I had to tweak it and make some edits to make it flow a little better and go more with the vibe of the song and the story, but less exciting. It's not really about anyone specific. It's just a good swing dancing song that's also a pretty relatable one, and one of the things that people love about it is the quote in there that the girl's wearing a crop top tee that says "Buy local beef," big time. But my following is big time ranchers and farmers, so a lot of people really love that and can relate to that because they make their own homemade shirts that say "Buy local beef," support local.
Yeah, don't forget about her hanky in the pocket.
Yeah, the hanky. People always think I say hickey in her back pocket because it just sounds like that. If you're just listening, it sounds like I say hickey instead of hanky. I've gotten that a few times from people. If you're not listening to it, yeah.
But going to the Clint Black advice that he told you, what's some of that advice that's like really stuck with you throughout your career so far?
The number one thing that I asked him was, how do you, like, what's the advice you'd give to someone being a musician, full-time musician, and a husband and father? Because I'm not a husband and a father yet, but I'm engaged, so soon to be husband, and I want to have kids. And so he gave me some great advice. I think the biggest one he said was don't go to bed angry at each other. So basically, like, resolve your arguments before bed, before you go to sleep, kind of thing. So that was great. The other great ones he gave me advice about inner monitors. We just switched to those, and he gave me some advice about panning your vocals left and right. And then I asked him, hey, we only got time for about 8 songs today. Would you recommend I play more cover songs or more original songs? Like, what's your advice there? And he said, if you're confident in your originals and you play them good, you think they're good, he's like, play as many originals as you can. He's like, you're gonna have a big crowd listening to you, making the first impression. He's like, play as many as you can. So we played a bunch. I think we played one cover song, and it was good. It was awesome to see even people singing along to a bunch of the originals.
Was that able to help you gain some traction out there?
Yeah, for sure. I get people messaging me from Dylan all the time, or people that are just like, hey, I was in Dylan and saw you open up for Clint Black. Like, you guys are awesome. It's mostly through like TikTok, Instagram, and stuff like that. But yeah, people reach out and mention that concert a lot. It was probably one of our best performances too, as a band.
I got you. So now that you've been around for going on, let's say you've been in it for 4 years, you're going on your 5th, right?
Let's see, full time. I was 23. So coming on my 5th, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And over the 5 years that you've been in it, what's some advice that you could share with somebody that's looking to get into it as an independent?
I would say the number one thing is to not compare. That's a really hard thing for musicians, especially with social media being such a big part of our like advertising and marketing, because we have to use it. We have to be on there. That's kind of now where you find people. That's where you found me,
Right.
So that's where you find your fans. That's where you meet people. And so being on there, it's really easy to look at someone else and be like, man, I wish that I had that opportunity, like kind of a thing. So I'd say don't compare yourself, but definitely use the example of other people and find what other people do right and what they're doing well, and try to implement that into your own thing.
Right. All right. And I know you probably a little bit tired. You just got done doing a pretty long show, man.
That was a short one for us. We're used to Friday, Saturday back in Post Falls. We did 2 4-hour shows in a row, and then on New Year's Eve we did a 4-hour show in Missoula too. So we're hour and a half today was not too bad at all.
Okay, well, that's not bad. Man.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to sit down and I'm sure everybody that's watching or listening, they appreciate the advice and storytelling that you gave them tonight.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me on and the questions, and we can talk more. And whenever you got questions or want to talk about music, man, I'm always there.
I got you. Sounds great. Thanks,
Yeah,
Tanner.
yeah, thank you. Appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, man.
She got a hickey in her back pocket, Wrangler jeans, and a crop top tee that says buy local beef. Steal your heart like a bandit and leave. She's gonna shoot to kill and aim to please.